And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thomson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
That's right, baby. He got it right. It is me, Big John McCarthy. Well, maybe not that big. Well, maybe just no.
Dave failed me again with that.
My man,
intro.
what's up? I got the Punk. And we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about. We have fights to talk about. We have interactions with commentators and people, and all kinds of people are upset with everyone. Everyone's just got their all panties all in a ruffle, bunched up, man. It's just terrible. It's irritating. Yeah. But we're going to talk about all of it. How are your panties doing today?
My panties are a great bunch. I mean, they're not all wadded up, so I got a little bit of movement going on.
A little bit just sliding around.
Everything's been great, man. It's been an awesome day.
Good.
The weather's getting a little bit nicer here in Texas.
Oh, weather's gotten a lot nicer.
Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it right now. This is the best time of year from what I've been told. Now, don't forget though, the hailstorms and lightning and thunder come rolling in.
Yeah,
but it's all right.
Come on, temporary.
I actually really enjoy the lightning and thunder. We very rarely got it in California.
Yeah, no, but when you're in California and you're raised basically in California, and then you come to the South, you go, oh, that's what lightning and thunder really is.
Yeah, I thought it was fake that they had on the movies and stuff. No, this is it really is.
Oh yeah, it's like,
oh yeah.
That shit hasn't stopped yet.
No, your windows shake, and it's an all-day thing.
Yeah. And there's ones that crack, and you go, that was right outside.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll walk out of my lawn in the morning and see if there's any holes in it, see if the lightning is struck. But
I actually had one hit my tree when I was living on the lake. It took a whole tree down.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did that one land on top of you?
Yeah, I was wondering.
No, that was not the one that landed on top of me, you shit bird.
No, the one that landed on top of me was on the farm, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See, they make them tougher on the farm, not on the lake.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they make them tougher, but I'll tell you what. That one hurt me. Yeah, that one hurt me. It cut me deep, Shrek.
Yeah, he wasn't taking none of your shit. He was like, nah, I'll show you, old man. Take this. Yeah. Oh, man, we've got a great show. But before we get started with this great show, though, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the subscribe button. And I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. And you guys are here on a weekly basis. And, man, numbers been going up, man. We're enjoying what we're doing right now. I think because you guys know how much work we put in during UFC 300 and how much extra content we gave you, as well as we were a little off on the betting odds, but we'll try to make that work. But look, we were going for the big money. I was trying to go for the big money in those situations.
Well,
yeah, it worked.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is. Look, that's why they call it gambling, my friends. That's why they call it gambling. But look, we've got a UFC. Is this a fight night?
That is a fight night.
It's a UFC fight night, and what number is it?
Oh, it's also a UFC. Las Vegas means it's in the Apex.
Gotcha.
91, right?
92.
92?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I was off by one.
That's what happens if you don't listen.
I don't listen. Sometimes when Dave talks, it just kind of goes.
I'll tell you what.
In one ear.
There's something about podcast Dave. We now have Gorgeous George, or as we would say, Keto George. I like Gorgeous George.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm starting to like Gorgeous George a whole lot more every time Dave talks.
I mean, it's so funny. Just one's a little bit more of a ginger, and then the other one's got a little bit darker.
One's a lot more of a ginger.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is if you actually put them side by side, which I have them right now, they actually look very much similar. This is very great. I love this part. You guys are like the little twins.
Little brother.
I don't know if that word means what you think it means. Handsome.
Hey George, if I'd finished Train Alta, who would have won? You or me?
You definitely. Man. I got submitted in the first round. My wrestling wasn't up to par. My striking though, if you would have been like Kevin Holland, that like Wonder Boy Thompson, it would have been fun. But if you would have just double-legged, I would have lost probably.
That's the one thing that I've been talking with Rich Chow about in the Train Alta program is, look, it's very difficult to train as much wrestling as you need to keep this thing on the feet. Mm-hmm. I mean, if someone knows how to do a little bit of wrestling, those people, they get taken down. They don't know how to get back up. There's just not a long enough period of time to really train them to get up. But it's definitely, so worth it, man.
Hold it. Is that what it's about? No.
Yeah, John, it's always about winning. I don't give a shit what you're talking about.
I'm not saying you don't go into it going, well, I want to win.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire program is for what?
Just get the experience to learn a life skill.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah, in some, it's to dedicate yourself towards something that most people have a great fear of.
Mm-hmm.
And to then take that fear, push it to the side, and prove that, you know what? I can take the time, I can learn something, and I can go out and do something and be successful, maybe and not, but it's the matter that you took part. It's not about taking over.
No, it's about taking over.
Part.
It's about taking over.
No, not an Alta. Not the Alta
that's what
program.
it's about, John.
No,
that's what it's about.
No, it's not.
I think we need
George, you did good. I'm proud of you.
John, you're sissiifying the American way. Okay, we're here to win. That's what we're here to do. When did you
I'm
get
not
so
here to
soft?
sissify.
This is what happens when you
about the time I turned 60.
about that time, jeez, man. And it went downhill quick, man. You used to be a man's man.
I used to be fucking horrible.
Oh man.
I used to be just horrible.
Man, I got to tell you, Miss McCarthy's like, man, John needs the podcast. She told me that today. I was like, why is that? She's like, because you're the only male contact he has.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I am surrounded by women. I have my grandson here, and I have my father-in-law. Okay, so if I don't leave the farm, I have a plethora of estrogen surrounding me. And it's starting to get to me.
And your grandson's only like what?
Pork Thomson?
The Josh the Pork Thompson, you got him too.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right now, he's not doing his part.
Oh, he's not. He's not impregnating all those bitches.
He's still weak.
Oh man, then he's
He
definitely
just saw you fall from the tree, right? And he's like, I'm gonna mount that motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm gonna mount that motherfucker. Oh, but then your grandson's what? 16 months, and then your stepdad is
18
what?
months, yeah.
80s, 90s.
My stepdad.
No, stepdad. Your stepfather-in-law.
My father-in-law.
No,
My stepfather-in-law.
Your father-in-law.
He's 86.
Oh man, he's still young.
Dude, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about? He'll tell you. He goes, moving to the farm and everything. He goes, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. I am and it's prolonging his life. We just took him for his physical. They go, he's healthy as hell. I go, shit, he's gonna be here forever, forever.
And one day he'll turn 99 and he'll be like, finally you finished building that fucking house.
Yep. Come on. Think about this, Dave. Think about his life. He's got his place. He's got his whole house, right? That he does whatever he wants. He gets all of his meals made for him, or we take him out to dinner, right? He gets in the golf cart that we got him and drives all over the farm. He goes and he sees the animals. He's feeding, carrots to donkeys and stuff. He likes all that stuff. He's got the greatest freaking life ever. He's got no responsibilities. None.
I'm sorry, but man, if you're living on my farm, I don't give a shit if you're fucking 98 years old.
You're working?
You're fucking working.
That's me. I'm working.
That's going to be you too when you're fucking 90-something years old. John, how did you go from a dream lifestyle, retiring on a lake, to now fucking running a farm?
I know.
Who fucking makes the decision in your house? Jeez.
My daughter.
Gosh.
I mean, you do have 5 Michelin star dinners every single day, right? So that's a fair trade-off.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Man,
I'm out here frying eggs in a scraped up pan with yellow yolks from chickens that were just kicked around their whole life. Meanwhile, John's getting 5-star with
I'll tell you
green
what.
onion.
What the funny part is I don't eat breakfast or anything. I have a cup of coffee, right? But right now we're getting somewhere in the area of about 80 eggs a day.
A day?
A day, right? Chickens are laying about 80. Dude, we don't know. I mean, we're giving them, we give them out and give them to all the people around here. But we're eating breakfast for dinner every night.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
My daughter's like, she goes, I'm sorry, I don't know. Dude, what are you talking about? It's called, this is free food. Yes, we're eating.
Absolutely.
It,
Absolutely. I mean, The chickens are making their, you're getting your
Chickens are
money's
doing
worth
their
out of
job,
your,
man.
Yeah,
That's
you're getting
right. I
your
have to
money's
feed
worth out of
those
them
some
chickens.
bitches.
And then when they start to produce too many more chickens, I'm just going to eat the fuck out of the chickens too.
That's what you do.
But like I'll use eggs for almost everything. And I'll put an egg on my steak. I'll put an egg on my hamburger. Like last time we had hamburgers, put some egg
Eggs
on my
on a
hamburger.
hamburger is great.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Come
Because
on.
it kind of minimizes how much, like I don't like to use mayonnaise on it. So if you leave
yeah,
a little
no,
bit of
no,
that
no.
yolk on there, man, it makes it
Yeah.
nice and juicy. A little bit of salt and
Hello.
pepper. That's right.
See, I'm
See, I
hungry
know what
now.
I'm doing.
All right, I'm going to go get something to eat real quick.
All right, hey, let's go ahead and get into this show. But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. I want to thank you guys so much. Let's talk the main event, man. Matthias Nicolau versus Alex Perez.
Nicolau against Perez, I think, is a fun matchup. If you're going to look at it, Perez has been known. He's a stand-up fighter. He's got very good skills on the feet. He's fast. He's actually got power for a very, flyweights, a lot of them don't carry a lot of power. He's got power in his hands, but the ground has been his nemesis. And he's working on it. And the question is, has he worked on it enough? Matthias can bring the fight. He's great in the stand-up. He's good on the ground. So he could bring the fight to the ground. But the question is, where is Alex Perez? We've been watching him, and he's gotten better at the ground. You can see it. Is it good enough to stop what Matthias Nicolau does? And if it is, he's got a good shot at getting a win and, getting himself back into contention here. But I would say right now, most people are going to say that Matthias is your favorite in this fight.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I guess the next question though is not even so much the ground. It has to do with, are you able to stop the takedown?
Yeah.
That's where it comes down
You're right.
to it. Like
You're right.
Like you may be able to get yourself back up and put your back to the wall and all those things, but can you even stop the takedown? Because if you can't stop the takedown, your stand up won't mean shit on your back. So you've got to make sure that you're able to dig those underhooks, elevate him back up, make space, create space, make him
Bring him out, move.
make him pay every time he shoots and misses. Anytime you can stuff a takedown, make him pay. But also, after you make him pay, create that space. Take him back out to the center of the cage. And do the Max Holloway. Let's go. Right here in the center of this cage. Let's get after it. Let's get down. And always remember that when you start to bite down on your mouthpiece and let go, most likely Nicolau is going to go ahead and try to get that takedown. So don't get carried away with 3 and 4 punch combinations. Throw stiffs 1 and 2s. And if you feel the 2 land, then throw the 3. That's what you've got to always be conscious of, is not overcommitting and there's fighters can do this sometimes, John. I'm sure you've seen it inside the cage. They will commit to the combination before they even throw it. I'm going to throw 4 punches. That's not how it works, man. You've got to.
No, it does work occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally.
But most of the time, it works against you.
Yeah. I mean, like I've told myself, like I've caught myself in a bad habit of throwing just 1s and 2s. Okay, I've got to throw a 3. I've got to throw a 3 just to break the ice. And the 3 almost always lands because you're so hesitant to throw it, but it's there. So you just got to teach yourself to do that in the gym to make sure you're getting back on track instead of just throwing 1s and 2s. Because it'll make you gun shy when you go against somebody like a Josh Koscheck or a John Fitch who's just really big and they got good wrestling. You just want to pot shot them. Just stick and move because you don't want to overcommit and give them an easy takedown. I mean, not that it wouldn't have been difficult for them anyways, but you understand what I'm saying. So with Alex Perez, he's got to touch him, okay? And then when he feels the 2 land clean, then go ahead and throw the 3 and the 4 possibly. Nicolau's got to make sure when he sees him hunker down that he changes his levels and gets in on the deep takedown. I think we're going to find out in that first round and a half, who's having more success and how Alex Perez adjusts to the takedowns out there in the center, and he's got to make sure he always tries to keep it out there in the center. Whereas Nicolau, he can keep it on the feet, but he can fight this. He can fight this fight in the center. He can fight this fight with his back to the fence. He can fight this fight anywhere because the threat of being on the ground doesn't bother him.
It is exactly, and he doesn't. There is no threat for him to be on the ground, as far as you think Alex Perez is going to take him down. I don't think so. That's not where Alex, does his best work. That's not where he wants to be. So in this position, Perez has always got to be thinking about stopping the takedown, where Nicolau's got the freedom of, I know what you're going to do. You're not going to be trying to take me down. So all I worry about now is the stand-up.
So how much leeway, though, do you give somebody, though, John, when you know that, like, there's really no threat on the ground, But then we've seen sometimes in situations where fighters are like, oh, there's no threat, and then they end up getting submitted. Whether it's a guillotine, like remember Charles Oliveira, I think fought Jim Miller, and Jim Miller caught him in a knee bar.
Yeah.
During that fight, I was listening to the commentary as I recall back, like, oh, he's the best grappler, he's this, he's that, and then like everyone was so shocked.
Anyone can get caught.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think for Nicolau, he's got to be very cautious and careful because anyone can get caught, especially in that guillotine and leaving their neck in the wrong position, trying to get takedowns, thinking that it's not there. Like that little front rear naked that people are doing right now when you're putting your head in the center, that's tricky. And so if you start just relaxing too much in those positions, you can leave your head and your neck in the wrong position. Next thing you know, you're waking up. The doc's going, hey, man, it's over. Sorry, buddy. You have a face like Big John and Herb over you. Man, so I'm sorry, man. You got choked the fuck out.
Oh, dude.
Give him the shake.
Yeah, one of my favorite ones is I had a guy in Australia. I was doing fights, and he gets put into a guy gets him in a mounted guillotine, right? And he's sticking his thumb up, right? Just sticking his thumb up, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, that's good. You're sticking your thumb up. And I'm watching his thumb, and I'm watching his hand start to dip, right? And he goes out, right? And so I stop it, right? And wake him up, and he goes, I guess it's not a good thing that I'm looking up at lights with Big John McCarthy and there's not a fighter above me. And I go, no, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
Luke Rockhold had a really good mounted guillotine. I mean, he could hit that thing from freaking anywhere. And his leverage for him to get over into mount, if he got you in that front headlock position while he was on all fours and you were trying to shoot, he would just go one arm deep, right? Put his hand to his chest and he'd just step his leg over your body. And you're like, shit. Yeah, he's a savage in that little way. Yep. Oh, man. Okay, so look, give me your opinion. Who takes this fight?
Man, I'll tell you, look, I'm being honest. Alex Perez can win this fight. He's just got to fight a smart fight and keep the fight, for the most part, in the center of the cage. Keep Nicolau from being able to take him down. Nicolau's going to feel comfortable in the stand-up because he's got good stand-up. I look at it and say, if you're looking at who's the favorite, it's Nicolau. Mm-hmm. You got to say it based upon he can win the fight from anywhere. I don't think that Alex can win the fight from anywhere. I think there's specific areas for him. So I'm going to say Nicolau.
Okay. Ryan Spann versus, is it Bogdan? Or
Bogdan. Just say Crazy Man.
Crazy Man. Gustav.
Bogdan Guskov.
How do you see it?
Oh, man, Ryan is that guy. You get him one fight and he looks spectacular and he's like, man, that's the guy. And he says, oh yeah, now I'm training the right way and stuff. And then he comes out the next time and he's not the same guy. And you go, what happened?
Yeah.
He's just so up and down and you just never know what you're going to, get from him. I look at Bogdan is a guy that he puts his hands not really in front of his face. He doesn't, kind of keeps him down towards his hips. Very, very Fedor-like in the way he has his hands low. But, man, he will sling leather with anyone. He's got power in his hands. He's got a good chin. But Ryan Spann's got enough power. He can put anybody out. It's just which Ryan's going to show up. Is it the Ryan that's going to fight, smart and long and with power in his thing? Because Bogdan is there to be hit. No doubt about it. He's there to be hit, which makes him fun to watch because he's got a good chin and he just keeps on slinging leather back. And normally he puts people out. So it's a fun fight. This is one of those ones you look at, you go, I don't think it's going to be going into the third round.
Yeah. Are you taking the over-under on the 1.5?
Yeah. I would take the under. Yeah. One of them's going to sleep.
Yeah. I don't see this fight getting outside the first round.
Yep. That's
kind of where I'm at. Like Ryan Spann, and we've heard this before. We heard it from Kevin Lee. We've heard it from Ryan Spann. We've heard it from a lot of other fighters where they just say like, oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. My training's gotten great. And they come out and have a great performance. Yeah, and then see, I'm way better than I was.
He's got it.
Then they come out their next fight and they gas out in the first 3 minutes. They're like, what the hell happened, man? Where did the guy go from the last fight? What is going on? And Ryan Spann he's one of those fighters that you look at him, you're like, man, you have all the potential. Like you're athletic, you got power.
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's, you talk about long. What, he's like 6'5".
Yeah.
Okay. He's got power in his hands. It should be there.
And Goskov is one of those guys you look at and go, nah, maybe he's just not, like he's going to get knocked out. He's not this, he's not that. And, geez, man, 6'5".
6'5".
I wish I was 6'5". I'd have been a
fighting out of your state, Fortis MMA in Dallas, Texas. So.
That's right. Pull up Bogdan. Let me see this guy. What is he? 6'1"?
No. I want to say 6'2".
6'2".
Yeah. Yep. But absolutely, take a look at the KOs. 13 out of the 15 wins and 2 submissions, which tells you he throws down.
Yeah.
And so he's going to go, he's going to go after him. He's going to go after Ryan. He's going to put pressure on him, and it's going to be, well, either I'm going to knock you out or you're going to knock me out. But
yeah, because he's got 3 losses. He's got 1 loss by KO, TKO, 1 loss by submission, and 1 loss by decision. Well, I'm glad he's spreading that around evenly. Good for him. Good for him. I think it's going to come down to if Ryan Spann can get outside the first round. If he can get outside the first round, and if his cardio's up, if he goes into the first round, it's kind of anyone's fight. After that, Ryan Spann, we got to see how he looks after the first round.
True.
If it goes on to that, it's gonna be a good fight. All right.
It's also gonna be Bogdan is gonna bring pressure. How does Ryan handle the pressure? Does he use his jab? Does he throw good shots to keep him back and be able to handle the pressure and make it to where all that pressure coming forward is not being effective for Bogdan? That's really what the question is. If Ryan can do that, he's going to be successful. If he can't, there'll be problems.
How many times have you seen fighters just get extremely exhausted by just trying to circle and stay away?
Oh,
creating space.
All the time.
And in this fight, John, we're at the apex. And what does that normally mean inside that little tiny cage?
It's hard to do.
It's hard to make space.
It takes a lot of work.
When you have 2 big guys and they take 2 steps out to the center and they're already facing each other, that means that someone's going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
And if you're someone like Bogdan, right, you're like, oh, I just want to just throw leather and just get after it. That'll tend to favor him. He's like, I got a good chin. I got big power. I'm going to take your head off. So it's not favoring Ryan. Ryan's got to stick on his bike a little bit, stick and move, use his reach, his range, all of those things. But we're gonna see if his cardio is gonna be able to get him through into the second and third round.
Yep.
Ariana Lipski versus Karine Silva.
It's a good fight. I like watching Ariana Lipski fight. She's aggressive, and that's the thing you're always looking for. So is Karine Silva. She's aggressive. She's good on the ground. These are 2 up and coming when you're looking at it. Lipski, they thought for a while was going to be that person, kind of went down and it's coming back up. But she's good. She's got all the skills necessary to be right there at the top. And she's got a very tough opponent in Silva.
Austin Lane versus Yonata Denise.
How
do you say this guy's name? Is it Yonata?
Yonata.
Okay, good.
Honada Denise. He's from Brazil.
Okay.
Look at if you look up Denise's record, he's coming in off of the Dana White Contender Series. That's where he got his last win. But you take a look at his record: knockout. I mean, just a bunch. The dude's got power. Look at there you go. Look at KO, TKO, retirement, KO. Not he's putting people to sleep, Josh. And Austin Lane, played football, all that good stuff, but we've watched people put him out. And so this is not, in my opinion, this is the USC saying, welcome, Mr. Denise and Mr. Austin Lane. Good luck.
Yeah. I think it seems like by looking at his record, though, he's fought a bunch of podcast Daves and George's. That's what it looks like. So first round, all of them.
Man.
I guess until you get in there under the big,
but he also
lights.
boxes. He's got good hands. He's boxed. He kickboxes. He does it all. The guy can fight.
Yeah, but John,
I've watched him.
John, I'm not impressed by your performance.
Okay, then you'd not be impressed because you will be impressed after this fight.
I'm just poking fun, man. I had to go ahead because you were talking before we came on air, but you were talking about how he's an exciting fighter and you're looking forward to seeing him fight. So, Jonathan Pierce versus David Onama. Man, I'm high on David Onama. I think he's got a lot of potential. And then his reach, his range, his ability, his movement.
Jonathan Pierce, the man from Tennessee, mister.
No, it ain't going to happen.
Hey, He's tough as hell.
He is tough as hell.
Yeah, and I'm being honest. I agree with you as far as Onama is very exciting. He's very athletic. The one thing that we've seen in the past is he can get tired.
Yeah, this is true.
And people can grind on him. And guess what Jonathan Pierce is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but can Jonathan Pierce take the shot?
I don't know.
Can he take the shot?
You know, he has in the past,
but he hasn't from Onama.
Pull up Jonathan Pierce's record real quick, Dave.
Don't make Jonathan Pierce go.
Look at when you take a look. No, go to his record. Go to his matchups there. Okay, Darren Elkins win.
No.
Darren Elkins is not an easy person.
No, he's not. He definitely is not. Kai Kamaka. Was the Kai Kamaka? Is this the fight where he should have lost, or Kai Kamaka should have won? No, he lost. But TKO. Never mind.
No. Yeah, beat Kai Kamaka. Look at he's got Christian Rodriguez. He's got good wins against good people. He's tough. You know, I'm not saying that I agree with you with Onama. He's fun to watch. He's athletic. He's got that gift of man. He can end a fight at any moment. He's got a tough dog in Jonathan Pierce that he's going up against.
Click on Onama for me, buddy.
Go ahead.
There you go. John, he's a featherweight at 5'10". Speed, movement, reach, range. Let's see can we see how long his arms are?
Hold on. I want you to take a look because this is what my whole point. If you look, his last fight is a win, but the one before that was a loss, and it was a loss to who?
Nate
Landwehr, who is a what?
He's a pressure grinder. Fighter, but
he's a grinder. He's a
he
tough
is a grinder.
Jonathan Pierce is a remake of Nate Landwehr. That doesn't mean that Onama has not learned how to deal with that and can get the win. But this is a tough fight for him.
74-inch reach, John.
I know. At featherweight, that's long.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. I think I'm a lightweight. I think mine's only like 72. But I mean, look, if he can just keep it on his bike, stick and move. And look, does Pierce have the same type of chin as Landwehr? We just saw in Landwehr's last fight, man. Guy's got fucking no quitting that dude. No quit.
He's a tough dude.
He's an animal. Does Jonathan Pierce have that in him?
Dude, they're both from Tennessee. Of course he does.
Oh my gosh, John, please. Tennessee people are soft. I was just there in Nashville last week, and I saw a bunch of podcast Daves running around.
Don't you talk about Nashville.
I saw a bunch of podcast Daves running around in pink unicorn shirts. Oh, it was great. All right, Tim Means versus Euros Medic. Oof, good fight.
Come on. The Dirty Bird. I will always watch Tim Means fight because he's scrappy, he's tough, but Euros Medic is good. It's a tough fight for Tim Means, and Tim's getting older, let's be honest. He's slowing down, but he is still very sharp as far as his fight IQ. Doesn't take a lot of big chances in the fight, uses elbows beautifully. He's got a good ground game. To beat Tim means that you are a solid goddamn fighter because he is just tough as hell.
Yeah, he makes like really good fighters look like shit sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, man, what happened? And I was like, he's just difficult to deal with because of his height and because he utilizes those knees in the middle, the elbows. When you go to dip your head to throw the jab, his knee comes right up and his timing on it is perfect. And if it's not coming to your face, it's coming to your body. He makes it like they call him the Dirty Bird for a reason. It's not because he's the dirty fighter. It's because he just makes it a dirty, grimy fight.
Dirty, grimy fight, and he wins off of it.
Yeah, those are difficult fights, man. Like those are difficult fights fighters to have to fight and compete against.
Going in, well, this is going to be nasty.
Yeah, I fucking hated those. Those are the worst because you're stressing. Like, man, if I get tired. Like, you're so worried about that. They're going to still be there no matter what you do to punch him in the face. You're like, man, no matter what I do, he's still going to be there. I'm going to still have to hit him. I can't afford to get tired. Don't get me wrong. Like, even with the Nate fight, when I was fighting Nate, in the second round, I was like, man, he's still going to be here in the third. Shit, because I started taking deep breaths at the end of the second. I was like, man, this is getting more difficult to stay away from this fool. Son of a gun. John, is there any other fights on this card you want to talk about?
I think the Ronnie Yaha is just it's always been fun to watch. Great on the ground. He's got a tough fight against Victor Henry. Victor Henry is very good in the stand-up, and if there's one thing that we know that Ronnie is not good at, it's his stand-up. It's gotten better, but it's not good. So we're gonna see how that turns out. I think in the end, you got Gabriel Benitez all the way as the opening fight down there. Mowgli is
click on Mowgli for me, buddy. I think he's got lost 2 in a row. 3 in a row, and
he's going up against Machete, who is he's on the rise. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough fight for him. I mean, like he was lost 2, then 1-1, lost 2, 1-1. Now he lost to Jim Miller his last time out. He was so he is. I shouldn't say was. He's extremely talented, I think, but he's in that mixture of just not feeling comfortable, not feeling confident. Like he was coming off the Ultimate Fighter series, and also to him just being in the AKA gym. I've noticed that he just doesn't seem like he's utilizing that kick as much.
No, he used to kick like a mule.
Yeah, there's that. And then he also had one of the best guillotines in the gym at AKA, man. He was slapping that thing on everywhere and catching people. So, I mean, like, I don't know if he just doesn't feel comfortable in there or what it is in terms of the grappling, but he's got to utilize he has a pretty slick little ankle lock he's good at, too. He just never utilizes it because he don't want to get stuck on bottom. But I don't know. I wish him nothing but the best, man. He's a really good dude. Really good dude. So I hope he gets this win. All right, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. Dave's got some bare knuckle fighting for us because it's a big card this weekend with a big main event, big co-main event. Some big men right there in front of us. Big Ben Rothwell and big Todd Duffy. It's a big fight card, man. I mean,
there's some good fights on here.
There is some.
This is the first fight card for bare knuckle boxing in California. So this is a big card for them, and as a big card, they've got their poster child now in Mike Perry, which, hey, he is perfect to be the poster child for bare knuckle boxing. He goes out there, he freaking just throws down with people and walks away, usually being very happy with the results so far. So he's 4-0. He's going up against Thiago Alves, who we know was a great stand-up fighter in MMA, tough as hell, had power, had speed. He's 2-0 in bare knuckle boxing. So as a main event, you can't ask for anything better. Two guys coming from MMA, but both doing well with the bare knuckle boxing, and it's different. It's a different form. So that's a great fight. And then the Terrell versus Hunt. That's a great fight.
Yes.
That's a heavyweight fight. Hunt is not normally a heavyweight. He's their light heavyweight champion. And he's going after Terrell, who's the heavyweight champion. So that's an interesting fight because Terrell comes from a background where he's been bare knuckle boxing for a while and stuff.
I mean, John, to touch on the Alves fight, like you and I were talking about this a long time. I was like, man, Alves signed to fight Perry. And I was kind of like, man, he's been out for so long. I know he's got some skill. Like, I know he can do, like, he was predominantly a really good boxer in MMA, but he threw a lot of kicks, leg kicks, body kicks. He threw a lot of kicks. This transition into bare knuckle, his body style is good for it. In that clinch, uppercuts, things like this. I just don't know, like when you're dealing with someone like a Mike Perry, who just seems like he's cut out for this.
Oh,
it's not even seems like
it.
For this is his grimy, like I don't even know how to explain it. If like you say he's a poster child for bare knuckle, but like when they were designing this sport, they just said, what man could I find to shape it around? And they're like, you know what, that dude right there. Dude. He's perfect for this. He's not perfect. He's just perfect for the talking points. He's perfect for the fighting style. Everything about it is Mike Perry.
I wish I don't remember who Mike Perry's first opponent in bare knuckle boxing was, but I remember who his second, his third. Go
back, Dave, to this. I think it was one of the guys that's on the card. Lane, I believe. Was it Lane?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Julian Lane. So Julian Lane was his first opponent. And then he takes on Michael Venom Page.
Yeah.
And then he takes on Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
And then he takes on Eddie Alvarez. Look, he doesn't care what style. He doesn't care what weight they are. He doesn't give a shit anything about them other than, hey, you're going to come in here and eventually I'm going to start landing shots on you. And when I land those shots on you, you're going to feel them. And when you start to feel them, I'll know because you'll start going backwards. And it's happened to every one of them. Everyone. The guy that gave him the best fight, Julian Lanes wasn't bad, but Venom Page, he had problems reaching. But when he did, because that one ended up, it was a draw and it went into another round is how they do it and stuff. And they pick something, the winner out of it. But look, other than that, man, he has hurt people in the cage. He put, Lane out. He put Rockhold out. He put Alvarez out.
Yeah, the Alvarez one was a little weird because it was just the eye. The eye got swollen. I get it, but I'm saying it was just the eye.
What happened?
I get it. I understand.
What happened?
Doctor stopped it.
No, the doctor did not stop.
Oh, wait, what happened then?
The corner stop.
Okay.
That's his
horrible
corner stop.
cornering.
Yeah. Mark Henry is horrible cornering.
I'm being a smart ass, you
man.
guys. You guys didn't get that.
But, I mean, that's due to damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
That means he's putting those hands on somebody. And so, look, right now, Mike Perry, I think, is tailor-made for bare knuckle boxing. I think he's great for them, and they're great for him. They give him a position to go out and do something that he's good at, that you got to be a dog to be good at it, and he's that dog.
No, absolutely. Absolutely he is. The Eddie Alvarez fight, to me, he was taking some big shots in that fight. And sure,
Eddie landed great shots.
Yeah, I'd like to see. That's the fight that I felt like was the most probably contested. The Lane fight was good, but that was also his first fight in bare knuckle and probably not knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
Now he knows, and having to fight Eddie in that next fight, or in the 2 fights later, or 3 fights later, it ended up being a really good fight, and it was shaping up to be good until the eye got swollen.
Well, but you got to look at that fight and be honest about it. Eddie technically was doing great things in that first round because he wasn't being hit. Mike was missing. Eddie was landing. Mike was throwing, but missing. It wasn't until once his hands start touching you, that's when things start falling apart. And that's exactly what happened with Eddie. He started getting touched, and it just was this downward cycle for him, for the rest of that round, all the way through it to the point where I can't go out for the next round.
Yeah.
Okay, I totally understand it.
Yeah, Eddie was a lot faster than him in that fight.
And you got to figure, that's a 2-minute round. That was 2 minutes of damage.
Yeah. Damn.
It happens fast.
Oh, yeah, it does. Especially bare knuckle, man, it can change the structure of your face. That's what it can do. Look, the fight that I'm really interested in is obviously the Todd Duffy and Ben Rothwell. I've trained with Todd for years. Corner
Good
Todd.
guy.
Todd and I have fought on the same cards over in Pride. Ben Rothwell, though, big fan. Always been a big fan of him since the Militich days. Good dude, man. Really good dude.
Be honest. You got to, because look, we all know Ben Rothwell is a walking zombie. And he's got his style. He's great. He's tough as hell. He takes a big shot. How does Duffy get that done?
I don't know, John. I don't know. I've had Todd Duffy in the AK room for over 10 years. I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Look, what he needs to do is, he should be the physically more gifted athlete. He should be the guy. Yeah, I think he is. I think if he can get Ben moving backwards, like just sway, like kind of how he approached the Alistair Overeem. Was Alistair, or was it Frank Mir?
That did not go well for him.
No, I know. Look, neither did the Frank Mir one. But I'm saying though, like he's got to approach it like, look, I got to go out there and try and get you out of here. If I just try to sit back on my back foot, you're going to bully me around, and the same outcome's going to happen. Let me go out there and try and get you out of there. I got to in 2 minutes. I can try to go hard for 2 minutes. Look, you can make Big Ben chase you around for 2 minutes, and he's going to potentially put you into a corner and put a beating on you. But if I try to get you to move backwards for 2 minutes, stand and bang or push you back, I think he's going to have more success trying to do that. And then you get breaks anyways. And I know they're only 60-second breaks, but man, that seems like a lifetime when you're trying to get your breath.
If you're in shape, it helps.
It does help. Look, Big Ben Rothwell he always comes in shape. He's ready to go. But he is a slower, more lumbering type fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Where Todd Duffy can stick and move, put pressure, try to stick and move, change angles a lot because he is plotting. Ben Rothwell is going to be plotting after him and throwing long body shots, long overhands, all those things. You got to stick hard and move and then dip underneath and create angles. That's the best you can do, I think, and try to be the one that pushes him around. Be the one that uses your forearm to kind of shove a little bit and then counter. Use your speed in there. I think that Todd's going to be the faster fighter. Use that forearm to push a little bit off the chest, create space, big shot, overhand rights or uppercut somewhere in that position. Might be hard to go uppercut because Ben's so tall. But, Todd's not a small guy. So, I think it'll definitely be interesting. But I do agree with you, though. I do agree with you. It's going to be very difficult for Todd Duffy to get it done. I wish him nothing but the best. Any other fights on here you want to talk about?
No, we're good. Sounds good.
All right, Dave, what else you got for us? Oh, we got fight announcements. Fight announcements. Go ahead. Let's talk, John. Let's go. This is the fight we were talking about before. This is a damn good fight.
This is a damn good fight. The real question is it too soon?
What's the fight, though, John? You got to announce what the fight is, buddy.
Well, is it too soon first? Because you got Jamal Hill, who just fought at UFC 300 in the main event, taking on Khalil Rountree Jr. June 29th at UFC 303. I've heard a lot of people saying, it's he's rushing back. I don't think so. Yeah, he got hit. He got stunned, by Pahea. They stopped the fight, but it is multiple months before June. June, because it's at the end. It's almost July when you're talking about this. So he's got time. I would rather always see someone take more time, but I understand why he wants to get back. I understand he's like, nope, I'm not happy with my last performance, and I want to get back in and show what I'm made of. Yeah, he's going up against a guy. It's going to be there in the stand-up for him again. And Khalil, I actually love watching Khalil fight. Mm-hmm. He's got great technique. He's got good power, and now he knows how to keep himself on the feet, and he knows how to manage his cardio throughout the fight. He's so much smarter about it because he used to gas himself just by things that he would do. Now he knows back off. You'll see him take deep breaths. You see him come back forward. This is a really good matchup, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to it.
I think it is a little bit too soon for him to come back, only based on, I know he got rocked. I know he got dropped. His eyes rolled back and got that gloss looked over his face as he hit the ground. He took another shot after that.
Yep.
I would like to see him take more time. Look, how old is Jamal Hill?
31.
31, I think 31.
I think so.
Look, at 31, 32 years old. 32. At 31, 32. He'll be 33 in May, though. I get that 33, 34 is kind of the tipping point of like, look, I have this in me. Let's keep it going. You start thinking, okay, it's not going to last forever. But I also think you don't want to rush it too soon and shorten your career even more. Just give him, you should just take the time. And also, how active is he going to be after after 2 weeks ago from the UFC 300? How active have you been? Are you back in the room already? Are you not giving your brain time to rest? That's what my concern is.
Yeah.
Is you need to let your brain rest. That means no reading. That means eating higher saturated fats, whether it's avocado, things like that. Get your brain to heal, recover, just rest, sleep. That's it. And a lot of fighters, man, they're so quick to rush in and try and do more. And I like him. I think he's good for the sport. He's talented. He's fun to watch, everything about him. So Khalil's, I think Rountree is probably a bad opponent for him as well. Khalil hits like a fucking Mack truck, and he will be there right in front of him in his grill, trying to put the pressure and the pace on him to make him make a mistake. It's going to be a good fight, but I think someone's going to sleep. That's what I think. Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to get out of the first round. Now, if it's Jamal Hill, what are we doing? Are we taking more time now? Are we taking 6 months off? Because if you keep trying to jump back in there right away, your career went from being 32 years old. Now I'm going to be retired in 33, 34. That's not what we're looking for. We need you to last, buddy. You're fun. You're exciting. So if I'm your coaches, if I'm your corners, those people, your family, I'm telling you, let's enjoy the summer. Let's revisit this September, around the real Mexican Independence Day. Not the made up one here in America. All right. But I think it's a good fight. I'd like to see it postponed a little bit longer, but I understand it is International Fight Week, June 29th. It's a big weekend. And of course, if you're someone like Jamal Hill, you want to be on the biggest card you can. Didn't go your way on 300, so maybe you can go your way on International Fight Week. I get it. Next fight announcement.
Oh, yeah. In Ryzen 47, you got Sergio Pettis taking on Kyoji Horoguchi. It's the second time these guys matched up. Their first fight was for the title in Bellator, where basically Horoguchi dominated every second of the fight until he was knocked unconscious by a spinning back fist by Sergio Pettis.
This is in Ryzen.
Win.
This is in Ryzen.
Yeah.
This is in Japan.
Yeah. This is what happens when you don't have a flyweight division, when you're the PFL and you take over Bellator and you let them go. They had to have it in their contract already.
This is wild, man.
Had to have it in their contract already that they could go and fight. That's just the only way.
I mean,
if you're the PFL, you're not letting go of these two.
This is wild.
You can't.
No, they will.
You can't.
John, I'm telling you. They're John, I'm gonna keep telling you, man. Like
you can't.
But they will. That's the problem. I don't. My fingers are crossed for 2025.
I'm just gonna say something.
Okay.
You can't.
Yes. Look, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna keep saying this though. My fingers are crossed that they create the 125. They create the 135. They create the 185. You can't be considered one of the biggest promotions or the biggest promotion. You want to consider yourself one of the biggest. You have to have all the weight classes.
Well, not all the weight classes, but at least the weight classes that people are used to.
Oh, yeah, we don't want to have all the fake ones like 165 and 175. Yeah, we don't want those fake ones. We want the real ones.
Well, now they're fake ones?
Nah, they're there, but no one uses them.
We just did a whole thing on Michael Chandler possibly fighting Conor McGregor for the 165.
We did it to entertain people. You know that shit ain't happening. Come on, John. we're doing extra content for all those.
I'm doing it to give Dana a headache. You're so stupid.
I hope if we talk about it enough, it'll just drive him crazy and he'll bring us up again. It's just hilarious. Look, Sergio Pettis and Kyoji Horoguchi fighting over in Ryzen. It's not. I'm gonna continue. Like, you got Juan Archuleta over there as well. He's fighting over there too.
Well, Juan is completely signed by Ryzen.
Yeah, he is. He is. But that's what happened when he won their title over there. So, but that was all part of that shakeup with Bellator as well. Bellator signed him over there so he could fight more often. Juan is somebody who understands you can't make money unless you're fighting.
Yeah, but he's only got so much time left.
Yeah,
he's got to fight.
That's what he's saying. He's like, I can't make money unless I'm fighting. So I want to fight. I want to fight in Bellator. I want to fight in Ryzen. I want to fight. That was one of the benefits of signing with Bellator. You could fight wherever the hell he wanted. It's like, look, my job is to make you as much money as you can. I'm going to fight you and put you in the best position I possibly can. It's your job to win. That's all I can do. I think this is a great rematch. Sergio versus Horoguchi. If you remember that fight, like you said, Horoguchi was winning every second of that fight. It was looking very bleak for Sergio Pettis. But if you're Sergio Pettis, why are you fighting this again?
But Sergio was coming off of an injury in that fight, wasn't he? Off an injury?
Yeah, because he vacated he dropped out of the tournament, right?
Yeah, so this wasn't the tournament, though, was it?
No, this was just before the tournament.
Yeah, so this was just before the tournament.
So maybe it was that. Maybe he got the injury after.
I think he did. I think he hurt his knee after this. Yeah, because he was supposed to fight Stotts the first round of the tournament.
I'll tell you what, though. Both of those guys, both of them are studs.
Absolutely.
That is a great fight. That's one that I'll be watching when it happens, because you don't get any better. Horoguchi is just he's a freak of how fast he is and what he can do in a cage. And Sergio Pettis has proven himself to be just outstanding as far as his stand-up and his ability to, most of the time, keep the fight where he wants it to be. Wasn't able to do it with Patchy Mix, and that's how he lost his title. But, man, just a great matchup.
This is at bantamweight. Okay. But
isn't it bantamweight?
Yes, it's a bantamweight right there. Bantamweight. It's not at 125.
Yeah,
but they don't have that weight class either in the PFL.
They fly. No, they don't.
But this is so Kyoji is going back up to fight him at bantamweight. Sergio said that, look, I left the UFC because I don't want to make 25 anymore.
I can understand.
It makes sense. But is this going to be for a title over there? Is this going to be a 5-round fight? Is it going to be a 3-round fight?
No, it says bantamweight. That's it. So
damn.
Nothing as far as title or main event, anything like that.
Wow, interesting. I wonder if it's going to be 5 rounds or if it's going to be 3. If it's not for a title, probably going to be 3.
I think 3.
I mean, and he didn't get the knockout until the 4th round.
I think so.
Yeah. Oof. Better get it done sooner.
Yeah, there you go.
Just the speed of Horoguchi, though. One thing that Pettis was able to do, like Patricio Pitbull, was just use his speed. You know, and to a lot of the other guys he had fought before, he was able to fight in a phone booth if he needed to. He was able to utilize his kicks to keep you at range. He wasn't able to do that with Patchy Mix, but with Horoguchi, he was having a hard time finding him because Horoguchi was so fast. This is going to be one of those great fights. I think they're going to have to get after it real quick and early in the first 3 rounds. All right, next fight. Oof.
Mr. Cub Swanson. I got to say Mr. because he's getting older. So it's Mr. Cub Swanson against Andre Fili. I love Cub. Against Andre Touchy Fili. This one is also at the UFC 303 International Fight Week on June 29th. So this is, I don't know if this will be a main card or preliminary, but it's a good solid matchup in the featherweight division.
Yeah, you can tell as people start to get older, right? They don't fight as often as frequent. And that's kind of where you're at because your body just can't go through the trainings. You also don't like you start realizing that the shots, they kind of hurt more a little bit. And you're starting to see that. So we'll see where he's at when he gets inside that cage. But Cub is getting a little bit older. Cub's also married, has, 3 kids, I believe 3, maybe 4, but I think 3. He's got a beautiful family. And, so I think the priorities start to change a little bit right around this time. Hopefully that I know he's still in the gym every day.
Not right around this time. It's happened already.
Yeah. His priorities have already changed.
Yeah.
But just look, these are the fights though where you got to dig deep. He's still got it in him. I know he's training all the time. I mean, I see the videos of him training all the time, and I talk to the people down there in the Orange County area. He's constantly working. Fili though, coming off of his loss, I believe, correct?
Both of them coming off.
Yeah, but I mean, Fili coming off a most recent loss. But look, I like this style of fight. We got 2 guys that have been in the game for a long time, and they're going to come out there and get after it, man. Looking forward to it.
My question is this. When you look at it, Cub Swanson used to be a fast fighter. He's not the same as far as speed now. And Andre is going to be the faster fighter. Is that going to end up being the problem for Cub?
Well, it kind of depends. Cub is someone who can fight you anywhere. He can also fight on the ground. Fili's good on the ground. Fili's got good wrestling, but not at the level. Maybe his wrestling might be a little bit better than Cub's.
His wrestling's good. His submission game might not be.
Yeah, it might not be as good. But I mean, I think Cub has the experience to go ahead and kind of grind this out on the ground. I don't think he will, though. I think this thing's going to stay on the feet, and I think someone's either get knocked out or you're going to see a slugfest for 3 rounds. So.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let the fans eat, man. Let's go. Next fight.
We got Jailton Almeida versus Mr. Romanov, who was just hot as hell. He was on fire, and then all of a sudden the wheels kind of came off, and he did not look good in his fight with Volkov. He got destroyed in it. And Almeida coming off of a loss to Curtis Razor Blades. So both guys looking for a win. This is a normal thing for the UFC, taking 2 guys with losses, put them together, say, all right, who's going to be the guy that comes out with a win? And the other one's going to have 2 losses in a row. But you look at this one, and for the most part, both guys grapplers. Neither guy is a stand-up guy. They do things differently as far as the way they grapple, and you got to look and say Almeida's got to have the more dangerous ground game overall.
Not just that, but the way that I saw Almeida throwing Blades around that first round until he got tired, I expect him to do the same thing to Romanov. I expect him to get into the clinch. I expect him to lift and scoop and put him down. I think he'll have more success holding him down than he will Curtis Blades. We're going to see. We're going to find out. We saw with Romanov, though, the conditioning is not the greatest.
Well, it was when he was first in the UFC, he was in great shape, and then all of a sudden, you look at the last couple, it's just deteriorated, and it's like, what's going on?
You start to believe the hype. I feel like you don't need to train as much or as often.
Well,
I've seen it happen.
Mistake. That would be a mistake.
I've seen it happen so many times. Guys, they get in the UFC, they win 3 or 4, and like, oh, I'm unbeatable, and then all of a sudden, derp, derp, derp. Their cardio's not getting the work. There's less mitt work. There's less grappling. I'm gonna just grapple 3 rounds today. Okay, Mr. Champion. Okay, like, why don't you get your ass out here?
See, this is why they called you the Punk.
Absolutely,
when you were at the gym.
John. I was a dog,
Mr.
man.
Champion.
I was a dog in there, man. I was normally one of the last people to leave the mat and be like, hey, let's go. We got one more round. Okay, we're grappling. We're doing marathon rolls. I don't care. Got to get them rounds in, man. Got to get them rounds in. That's probably why I was hurt so much, though. All right, next fight.
Not going to wrap us up in fights, but I wanted to get your thoughts on Nate Diaz walking off the stage at the presser with George Masvidal. Is it is this good publicity? Is it bad publicity? Does it hurt Nate? Does it help Nate?
Hold on, John.
Let me ask you, what are you doing right now?
We're talking
Dave,
about
what are you doing? You're talking about it. Would you have been talking about this at all if Nate did not do what he did and the way he did it?
Fair point.
Okay, there you go.
But let me just say this, though.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not surprised, motherfuckers. I'm not surprised, motherfuckers. Are we really surprised by any of this stuff?
No,
No,
you can't be. But and people sit there and they go, "Did you see what he's being smart?
Yeah.
He's getting people to talk about it." No, let's be honest. How many people did you hear talking about Nate boxing Masvidal? It's just not getting that big of a push.
Mm-mm.
Okay? What did he do by saying, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out of here. My guys, he said it in a lot of different ways than I would have, but fuck you, motherfuckers. And he's going off, and you go, all of a sudden, everyone's talking about Nate Diaz and George Masvidal. Way to go, Nate.
It's funny,
Hey,
though.
he can sell.
It's rinse, wash, repeat. He does this shit all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, like the whole thing where
and as you say, slurp, slurp,
yeah,
slurp,
yeah,
slurp,
everyone's
slurp.
slurping
People
it
eat
up.
it up.
I mean, fucking podcast Dave over here feeding this shit to us. Just fucking, and we just keep talking about it. And remember, he did this with Connor when Connor threw the water ball at him. Like that whole he left he left that little interview thing there too, right? And so like all these things. I mean, he's been known for this. This is what he does. Good for him though. You got to remember, this is on June 1st. He's competing with the pay-per-view, with the UFC pay-per-view that same day.
Really?
I believe it's a pay-per-view. I think it's 301.
Sure.
Go ahead, look it up there.
I don't think it's June 1st, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
No, 301 is coming up. It's in May.
All right, so what's the card on 301?
What the hell?
What's the card on
What
June
the
1st?
hell is wrong with you,
302.
Tom?
It's
Same day as
302.
it's
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Is it
Sorry,
302?
Yeah, it's the same day as this one right here. And the
June 1st?
the main on this one, not Islam and no, I thought that was 30. No, you're right.
302.
That's not 301.
Sean
This is
Strickland, Paulo
302.
Costa.
Yeah.
That's the Islam fight?
Yep.
Yeah, this is Islam fight.
Damn.
They're up against it.
They are up against it.
They're up against it.
They got the whole the whole Dagestan crew. They got all of Saudi Arabia. They got all of Abu Dhabi. They got all of Dubai. They got all. I mean,
This might be on earlier though because this is on Fight Pass, and there was something George talked about something where he said
George has to get permission to fight because all of his fights have to be on Fight Pass because he's still under contract with the UFC. So all of George Masvidal's fights that he does outside of the UFC have to be on UFC Fight Pass, which is kind of crazy that they would.
Okay, hold on. I thought this was on DAZN.
It is on the zone, but
That's
they
on
also have to have both of them. So it's on UFC Fight Pass and it's on the zone. That was the only way that this.
Hold on. That doesn't make sense.
That's what this is.
Okay, so either you sign up for Fight Pass or you sign up for DAZN.
Yep.
And you watch it free from that point. I guess.
not the zone.
No,
It's
not free.
fan meal.
Fan meal. Okay. Yep.
Okay, so Famio. Sorry, Famio. So, but it's
how do you have a pay-per-view if he's on Fight Pass?
I could be wrong about Fight Pass, by the way. I remember just Masvidal saying something about it.
Josh is saying it because of his contract.
Yep, it's because of his contract. This will be on Fight Pass.
Yeah, that's what I remember hearing, but I don't. Let me see if I can just find it.
Again, how do you have a pay-per-view if you have Fight Pass? You pay for Fight Pass, it's $10 a month, basically.
Can I ask you this? How do you have ESPN that's only $10 a month, but you still pay for pay-per-view on ESPN? Same shit.
No, hold on.
That's different.
So you're saying that the Fight Pass is going to be...
I'm saying the pay-per-view will be on Fight Pass.
Pay-per-view.
There'll be a pay-per-view. They do the same thing with grappling, right? You don't just get it. You have to pay like the pay-per-view version for the grappling on there. I don't know. I don't have Fight Pass.
No. If you have Fight Pass, you get the grappling event.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just gonna let's just stop there because I think I might be wrong on the Fight Pass thing. So I'm just gonna.
I'm telling you that you're not.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing that confirmation based on what I remember him saying. I'm not seeing that anywhere. So I could be wrong. But there was something to do with it. Maybe the time. He could have clarified in the time or something that he's not going to conflict with the pay-per-view. It was something like that where. He said that like he got Dana's blessing, but like he'd already agreed to the date, and so there was some sort of conflict. But then whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he's under contract to the UFC and he's doing a pay-per-view on the same night, they're not going to be pleased with that.
Well, he did say it sucked.
It wasn't. To give you some, it wasn't. They weren't supposed to be pleased with it. They got permission from the UFC, and someone dropped the ball. Someone forgot that they had a card on that date. And so yes, exactly.
How the hell does someone...
Exactly.
Okay, never mind. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. So this whole fight, there was a little bit of pushing back and forth, but they had already solidified the date. And so then they came in and said, hey, you know what? Like, we fucked up, and you guys, we want you guys to change it. And they were like, we've already booked our venues. We've already did all of our stuff. Already booked the production, all that stuff. So... You're asking us to switch around a couple $1 million worth of stuff. You guys gave us a clearance to do it for Masvidal on that date. So there was a mess up on both sides, I think, and clarification. Okay. But it will be on Fight Pass. That was part of the deal. Unless they had worked something out separately, like saying, hey, go ahead and do it, and we get a percentage of the pay-per-view. But I do believe that it will be on Fight Pass is what I was told. That was part of the negotiations of the deal, that all of Masvidal's fights outside of the UFC, because he's still under contract, have to be on Fight Pass. Wow. Makes sense. I mean, that portion, I just don't know how they're going to do it. I got to see exactly how they'll do it as it gets closer. Good for them, though. I'm looking forward to this fight. Look, people were kind of dissing it a little bit, and there was not a lot of talk about it until this moment right here. There was a little bit of buzz when Masvidal went to Stockton. It was like, I'm in Stockton, bitch, where you at? Like, that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of dope, because he's kind of giving Nate the Nate business. He's giving him the business like he does other people. So I thought it was kind of cool. And, it's like now Nate's doing this. This is what we love Nate for. I think he's going to be great for the sport. I'm going to miss him when he's gone, in 4 or 5 years, whatever. So, but look,
you never know.
You never know, man. You never know. But good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to that fight on June 1st. Looking forward to it. Anything else for us, Dave?
Yeah, let's get your reaction to this, Chandler and
let's get your reaction to this there.
John, this I thought was one of the slickest comebacks by Arman Tsarukyan, I think, by any fighter I've ever heard. The way he slid it in there at the end was very impressive in his comment. But first, let's start off with Michael Chandler. I also don't know, he's talking about Arman Tsarukyan, how he was offered the fight in the back right after his win over Charles Oliveira. And let me preface this by saying, the UFC is known to do this all the time. Yes, all the time. You're hot with emotions. They know you're coming off of a big win. You're in the back. They come in and they say, hey, we want you to fight on this fight coming up, in like 5 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. I just went through an 8 to 10 week camp. And they come in off of your emotions and you're going to say what? For the title in 8 weeks or 6 weeks. What do most fighters say, John?
Okay.
All right, slurp. They're slurping up what Dana's selling, and they also know
it's emotions.
It is exactly, and the UFC they're feeding on that emotion.
Sure.
You run into your locker room. You're the greatest fighter I've ever seen. You fought your ass off tonight. Guess what? We're going to reward you with a title shot in 6 weeks. And you're like, I just did an 8-week, 10-week camp. You're like, nah. Arman Tsarukyan turns it down, and Chandler has some words. I also don't understand why he didn't take the Islam Makhachev fight. I would have taken it. This sport moves fast. That seems
well
coming from Michael Chandler.
Coming from a guy that has waited for basically 2 years for a fight. It doesn't really kind of hone out to you're being honest here.
Yes, this is very true.
I understand, I would have taken it. All depends on what fight is there for you and what you're waiting for. So who knows?
Arman Tsarukyan with a great, very classy response. I don't expect you to understand, Michael Chandler. We are not on the same level. I'm here to become champion. You are just waiting for a paycheck. I also don't understand why you waited Conor fight for 2 years. You could have lost 4 exciting fights during that time. I thought it was brilliant because Chandler has made it very clear when he came over to the UFC, he just wants to be exciting. Yep. Like winning the title to him didn't seem to be that important, and he will continue to fight the dumbest fights he possibly can. And Arman sees that, and he's made it. He said this a long time ago about how Michael Chandler has the worst fight IQ in the business. And so for Chandler to come out and say something about him, and then him to come back and reply, and I thought he said it in a very classy way, but also taking a jab. He didn't use any profanity. He didn't. Yeah, it was a good jab, but he didn't use any profanity. He didn't talk trash. I mean, he just said, "Look, you would have lost 4 exciting fights in that amount of time. Could have made a lot of money, more money than you probably make fighting Conor."
Well, that's part of the whole thing that your people are talking about with Michael waiting this long. And it's like, people look and think, well, how much is he going to make? He's going to make whatever his contract says because he's not going to get pay-per-view points.
Yeah.
Conor, I'm sure, has in his contract he gets pay-per-view. Let's be honest. Yeah. People are tune in to watch Conor. Okay? You're the one fighting him? Okay. But it doesn't mean that you're going to get this incredible payday. They may bump you up a little bit, but you're not going to. I don't think Chandler's going to get pay-per-view, and I think Cormier came out saying he doesn't deserve it. Let's be honest about it. Does he?
No.
Who's the one putting butts in the seats?
No, he doesn't. He does not deserve it. And look, don't get me wrong. Like I can say what I say about Chandler, but guess what? I still tune in to watch him fight. But there's getting to that pay-per-view level in terms of getting your points, majority of the time, it's you have to have been a champion. And even when you are a champion, most of the time, like, look, DJ, he never got pay-per-view points.
Nope.
So there's times where they look at you and go, look, do you deserve it?
Yeah.
I mean, what's his record in the UFC? 3-5? Or what? 3-5, but he's got what?
2 and 3.
He's got 2. Yeah, he's got 2 and 3.
2 and 3, I think.
I mean, you're kind of in that position where no. So, but I do enjoy watching him fight. You're going to get a good fight.
Oh, look,
win or lose, he's going to fight his ass off.
Yeah. But have you seen what the ticket prices are for this?
I heard
303.
Yeah. What the cheapest ones? Like
cheapest ones right now are $400 basically. That's your nosebleeds. They're at $400 a ticket. And if you do like their biggest package thing where you $12,000.
Oh man.
Hello.
That doesn't come with the hotel room either. It doesn't come with I don't think
No, that comes with, the seats for the weigh-in. You get escorted. I know they do all that stuff.
Yeah, that's common. Almost every promotion does the escort down to your chair, and they give you normally a little gift package of like t-shirts and shit that costs about $4. Right. Okay. And let's be honest.
Cost them $4.
Yeah. You print them up. You print up enough t-shirts. It only costs about $4 to do a t-shirt. So let's not get over all our panties in a
dude. It's a free t-shirt.
It is.
You stop yourself.
They'll get the little the credential. They'll get the t-shirt. They get a couple hats. They'll get the bag that says UFC.
They get. I think they get the service too. They get people to come up and bring them their drinks and things like that.
I mean, for $12,000, I better get fucking more than drinks. I want fucking lap dances and shit. Like, I mean, you should escort me out to my seat with a pole and some girls. Like, I'm something, man. Give me some action over here, buddy.
You wouldn't pay $12,000?
Not to any stripper. Never in my life.
Not
ever.
for a stripper, but for a fight?
Nah.
Come on.
John, why when I could pay $100 at home? Like, I would rather just do that. And I
can't believe you say that.
No, I just
can't believe you say that.
Look, if I could see the Hagler-Hearns fight again, but back then, like, I would do that 100%. Just only because I know how the fight went. Yeah. If I could see the Castillo and Diego Corrales fight, I could see. I definitely would. If I could go back and watch the Trinidad De La Hoya fight.
It's a great fight.
That was a great fight, but De La Hoya gave it away in the last 3 rounds.
Yes, he did.
Those are fights, you know. Miguel Cotto in his revenge against Margarito.
Oh yeah.
If I could go back and watch that fight, I would. Like, there's fights, man. There's fights that I will see. The Paul Williams fight, Paul Williams versus Margarito, also was a really good fight. I was there live at that one. I didn't have to pay to see that one, but I was there. It was at the Home Depot. What's that one called?
See, this is the one.
StubHub.
StubHub.
Yeah.
This is the one thing, you know, I've told people, and I used to tell everyone that I would teach, you know, for officiating and stuff and everything, was I would tell them, you know, look I get to walk in to an arena. I get to walk by the security. They don't stop me. Or if they do, I show them the pass. They let me go. I walk down to the, you know, ring or the cage. I walk into the locker rooms, and no one stops me. So what I get to do is priceless.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't put a price on it, you know. And so I was always so lucky. I never had to pay for any of it. Now, I would have to pay.
I think it depends on what venue you go to. Like, on what event you go to. Sorry, not venue, event.
It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, you know. I think also, too, like, I've gone to events. I've gone to a UFC where I thought things were cool. And like, Sean Shelby was like, yeah, Josh, you know, he's like, I was there and I wasn't cornering the fight, but he saw me there. He's like, yeah, he's like, I can get you tickets. And then he sent me the tickets, and I went and picked them up from Donna, and they were like way up in the top. And he sent me an email saying, I apologize, man, but those were from Dana directly. And I was like, okay. So I got up there and I was like, fuck it. So I went back down, and I ended up getting one of my buddy's lanyards or whatever. And I was like, just so I could walk around. And I made sure that I walked past Dana.
Man, I used to get in trouble for the lanyards. You know, because I have, you know, if you look, I have an incredible array of the lanyards from all the fights and stuff. But I used to, especially with the UFC ones, I would pick out a kid if there was a kid, and I would give them my lanyard, you know, and, you know, just it was a cool thing that they could have from the fights. I got in trouble for it. So, I got yelled at.
But after the event, though.
Yeah, well, you can't do it after you do. I would do it usually before the main card, because I usually was doing the main card. So I would be walking around with the lanyard, and then I would be taking it off for fights. Well, this time I would take it off and I'd give it to the kid. But then they would say, well, he can walk in the back during, you know, while you're in the cage, he can walk around here. And it was like, okay, I got it. I won't give it out anymore. So I stopped giving them out.
I would have given it out after. Yeah. Like, if you get done, you leave. You know?
I got in trouble for that one.
That's brutal. That's brutal. All right.
That's life.
All right, Dave, what else you got for us, buddy?
We'll wrap up on that one.
All right. Well, hey, I want you guys to go to our down. Get it out, Josh. Come on, buddy. I was like stuttering over myself.
I want you to go down to your local pub.
Go to WayneandMerch.com.
And when you go to your local pub, I want you to get a drink. And when you get the drink, I want you to open up the Weighing In podcast merch.
Yes.
And when you look at that merch, I want you to decide what shirt you're going to throw up on.
Go to WayneandMerch.com, WayneandMerch.com. Pick up some more apparel there. The weather's getting nicer. You got the short sleeves. Pick them up there. Let's get it on t-shirt. You got the Weighing In Skulls face to face. That's Big John and myself right there, just without our facial skin. And our old school logo. And also this one here I like with the American flag as the shield. I like that one a lot. That's the weightinmerch.com. Pick up some of our apparel. Also, subscribe to us down below. Also, there's our link in there to our Clips channel. We have more content going up on our Clips channel. We are back onto our Clips channel. We had a little hesitation there for a bit. We are now back and putting content onto our Clips channel. I want to thank you guys so much for subscribing to us. Hit the bell and the thumbs up. Leave comments in the comments section. Try to keep it positive. Let us know some topics you guys would like us to talk about. And we will try to get to them as best as we can. If you guys keep them positive, man. All that negative shit, I want to throw it out the door. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. And John, take us away, buddy.
For everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you.